Hey guys, my name is Taquanda Taylor and welcome back to my channel. Basically this video, if you have noticed from the title, I just pretty much wanted to sit down and talk about my upcoming or my current project, my current novel, You Can Always Go Home. Basically, I said that I wanted to release this book in June. It is May 4th and June is not looking like an ideal time. I'm not 100% sure why I thought that this was going to be a good idea. I sat and I scheduled it out and I was like, yeah, this is doable. And now I'm sitting here and I'm just not entirely sure. So I kind of hit a wall with the story. I know the story. I know what I want to happen in the story. But I'm having trouble getting from point A to point B and eventually to point Z within this story. And you guys, I am not a plotter. Like, I would never profess to be a plotter. I am a diehard pantser. Like, plotting gives me a headache. It is just way too much thinking. I just can't do it. But I did realize that I was having trouble getting through this story. So I made the decision to plot. So I stopped writing, and this is actually a very recent decision as of last night. Actually, as of last night, I made the decision that I was going to try to actually plot out this story. So in a previous video that I did last year, I explained like a quick pitch log line, which is something that I learned when I went to school for my bachelor's. So I actually use that. That is very helpful because it helps me in a paragraph just pretty much describe what the story is about. So I did that. And then basically my plan for plotting this out is to try to work my way from like one angle. My dog is doing something weird. I don't know, but to work myself from one angle down and like try to, really get some ideas with the story. So I did the quick pitch log line. Then I found the structure for the 3-act structure, and I put that down in the series Bible, and I filled that out. I was able to fill out each section. And then I grabbed my copy of Save the Cat by Blake Snyder. If you guys haven't heard about that book, it actually gives you how to outline and how to develop a story idea for, it really does it for screenplays, but it's pretty helpful for books as well. There's a few authors that go by it, that swear by it. And I've had this book for years, so I know about the beat sheet. So I pulled it out. I took the beat sheet and wrote that down, and I'm not completely done filling it in. There are points within the beat sheet that I'm not finding cohesive with what's in the 3-act structure. So there are parts of the 3-act structure where I was able to take this chunk this part that I put in the 3-act structure and then go to the beat sheet, and I was able to break that up into smaller points, which is what I'm trying to do is, take what I have in. I took what I have in my quick pitch log line. That is so tough for me to say all the time. But so what I had in my quick pitch log line, and then I basically took that paragraph and I made that smaller. Like, okay, so this is the overall story idea. So this is going to happen here in Act 1, and this is going to happen here in Act 2, and this is what's going to happen here in Act 3. And all of those are parts of the quick pitch logline, the QPL. I'm just going to call it QPL because I'm going to stumble over that so many times. I took that, and then the plan is to take what I have in the 3-act structure and now make that more, break that up into smaller bits for the beat sheet, and then from the beat sheet break that up into smaller bits for a chapter by chapter outline. And I'm struggling a little bit with the moving from the 3-act structure to the beat sheet. So I just think that this is actually going to take a little bit longer than I planned. I think that this book is not going to get released in June, and I'm 100% okay with admitting that. Sometimes it takes time, and I don't want to rush this project and put it out and then do what I did with my first book, which is go back and try to fix it 5 million times. Like, I've pulled that book down and tried to fix it and put it back up, and then because I feel like it needs to be perfect instead of it just being a really good story that people can get into, I'm like having this anxiety and this fear that it's not good enough, it's not perfect. So I keep taking it down and trying to rework it. And I'm just going to stop doing that. And I don't want to do that with this book or any books that I have planned, because I do have a lot of projects planned that I am really trying to get into. And the first hump is getting through this book so I can move on to the other ones, because I tried writing multiple books at one time and it just doesn't work for me. So I realized I need to focus on at least getting the rough draft of this done. And then I can spend time maybe plotting out the next book and then go back and forth. At least if I get the rough draft done on this book and then I go and plot another book, then that gives me time away from that book, time to let that marinate and sit. And then I can go back to it with fresh eyes. But right now I need to get past this outline because I am struggling. And I don't know, have any of you guys ever really dealt with that? My hair, I feel like my hair just looks a mess. I'm just all over the place today, you guys. I worked, and whenever I work and I come home, I always feel like I am just a mess when I'm trying to record these videos for you guys. But just tell me if you guys have ever dealt with something like that, where you know the story, and by all intents and purposes, you probably could pants it, but it is just one of those stories that just needs to be plotted. Because I feel like this is that story. It just needs to be plotted, or else I feel like I'm going to substantially miss something, and it is just going to become an even longer process. And is, like I said, is a story. All of my stories are dear to my heart. I don't think there is a single writer out there that is writing something that is not dear to their heart. Like all of my stories are dear to my heart, and they're all stories that I want to tell, and I've always wanted to tell, and now I'm taking the time to tell them. And I just want them to be good. And I feel like I'm struggling with this one, and I'm kind of trying to go back and get this outline together. So I'm going to go back and read through, not completely read through Save the Cat, but just the parts with the beat sheet, and try to figure out where I'm stumbling at with breaking it down from the 3-act structure into the beat sheet, because I have to get this beat sheet done, and then I have to move to my chapter outline, my chapter by chapter outline, because that's how I've written the last 2 books, was chapter by chapter. This is what's going to happen in this chapter. And so I started to do a chapter by chapter outline with this. This was before the 3-act structure, and before the beat sheet. I actually had the chapter by chapter. I was up to about chapter 15, I think. And I think the initial idea or story idea that I wanted to do it wasn't really working out for me. It just seemed like it wasn't going to play out the way that I envisioned it in my head. So I was like, okay, I gotta go back to the drawing board. So that's my struggle with that. I'm also, having a struggle with what POV I should use. So I tend to write in third person. That is where I'm comfortable at. That is my comfort zone. I do have one story idea where I decided that one might be told better in first person. So I already know I'm going to challenge myself with writing that in first person. But that isn't this book. This book, I initially planned on doing it in third person because that, like I said, that's my comfort zone. But now I'm starting to think that maybe this book should be told in first person. I don't know. I don't know, because I don't want to write it in third person and then have to go back and rewrite it. Although, I mean, it's a possibility. I can write it both ways and see which way works out best when it gets read. And then that's the way that will go. But I don't know. I kind of feel like this book should probably be in first person. So I'm going to finish this outline. I'm going to make some final decisions. But I think I might be sitting down to write this book in first person, which is going to be a big challenge for me. As I said, my comfort zone is third person. My comfort zone is saying she walked down the street, stumbled over just stuff like that. Like me being that person that can see everything, as opposed to me being the person that is stuck in that individual's head and can only see what that character sees. I'm really I'm really not comfortable with that. So I don't know how this is going to play out. But basically, that is my update with this writing. That is how things are going right now, you guys. I don't think that I'm going to have this book ready to come out in June. Because as I said, it is May 4th right now. You guys won't be seeing this on May 4th, but I'm recording this on May 4th. It is a little bit of a struggle, and I think I may have overestimated what I can do right now. It is sad to say, because they say don't underestimate yourself, but I think I may have overestimated myself, because I'm not writing full-time. I'm pretty much writing part-time because I'm working full-time. I do have a full-time job. And there are just days when I come home after working 9 hours, 10 hours, where I literally just don't feel like doing anything. I want to crawl into my bed, turn the TV on, and then that be that. And then I get to work, I get to the full-time job, and then I'm anxious and I'm a little stressed out because I should have been writing. So I'm also trying to find the balance between that. So you guys leave me some comments. Let me know what you think. Have you, what is your comfort zone if you are writing first person, third person? I don't know. Tell me if you guys struggle. If you're a pantser and you feel like you've had a book that needed to be plotted, and if you struggled, like I am struggling right now with plotting that book, because I am struggling with this beat sheet and with plotting, because I still feel like I'm missing something. And I feel like if I write it without filling in this beat sheet the way that it should be and doing the chapter outline, I feel like I'm going to write this book and there is going to be something substantial missing. Of course, like I said, it will be read and I can learn what is missing after it's read, but I don't know. I don't know if my readers will catch it either. So I don't know. That's pretty much it. That's all that I have. You guys, I am going to leave the link below for my newsletter, which I am going to start that back up. I have not posted on my newsletter in a while, but I will be sharing everything that is going on as far as with my books, first on my newsletter. That will go first to my newsletter. So, that will start back up, and that will be the first of every month. Obviously we are on the 4th. So the first, newsletter will be sent out June 1st. So if you guys are interested in learning or knowing what's going on before it hits YouTube or anywhere else, go ahead and click the link and subscribe to my newsletter. And that is all I have for you guys. I am going to go and stare at my outline and try to figure this out. Bye.